the years, MS Teamworks has shared perspectives on MS from all members of the MS team. And although 2020 brought unexpected challenges, we were determined that a pandemic and social distancing would not stop us from sharing new and meaningful perspectives. The setting was different, but the message is the same. I have MS. I have a team. I have a future.
My name is Amanda Iris Furco. I go by Iris. In 2012, I was diagnosed with MS shortly after graduating with my first degree. 2 months after my diagnosis, my mother was diagnosed with brain cancer, and she passed 4 months later. Through grieving her loss, I became more compassionate, fearless, and dedicated to the neurological population. I like to say that my passion for neurology chose me. I became a Johns Hopkins neuroscience nurse, got my national certification with the American Board of Neuroscience Nursing, and I've been an MS certified nurse with the International Organization of Multiple Sclerosis Nurses for 5 years now. I'm currently working on a nurse practitioner PhD, and I am deeply honored to be a part of the team serving the neurological population. So, dating, very exciting. So the first thing I'll say is please ask your grandma to set you up. Try to hang around local coffee shops or libraries if you think you'll meet your significant other that way. I'm going to talk about online dating because I think it's more and more pertinent to meeting someone. The first thing before you go on online dating is you want to research the apps that are good for you. There are apps that have certain reputations, like Tinder has historically been an app to hook up. But there's apps for seniors, there's apps for people with disabilities, there's a whole plethora out there. The second thing I'll say is you're not alone. Many people with chronic illnesses have been in your shoes. And this is really hard. In dating, you have to be vulnerable, even if you don't have MS. And so a lot of self-compassion is needed. And then a really great thing to think about is exposure. Exposure to people is very important, many different people. The more exposure you have to different people, the more likely you are to find someone that fits you well. You want to use a current picture. And for people with MS, knowing yourself is really important. We're all snowflakes. Present your best self. Sleep well. If your foot drop is a problem in the heat, meet in a cool place. If you're better as a morning person cognitively, please make a coffee date or take a nap before your date. Make a list of the positive traits that you bring to the table. Not that you're going to read these to the person on the date, but just knowing them going into it, I think, can be really affirming. And then this is my golden secret, and I hope you'll take it to heart. You want to frame disappointment and rejection as a win, because the sooner you know someone's not compatible with you, the sooner you can move on. Now I know that this person isn't good for me, and there's a lot of power in that. So while on a date, you want to use correct body language. If you can, lean in. We all like to talk about ourselves, but ask open-ended questions to them. Show them great interest. Think about what a gift it is to know them, to get to know them. For me, the second date is a good time to tell someone that I have MS, but this is totally up to you. I like to inform early because on the note of exposure, I'm eager to see what they know about MS and really if it's a deal breaker to them. When you choose to tell them, ask them what they know first. Many normies, as I like to call them, don't know what MS is and how far we've come in treating and diagnosing. Then fill in the details. Mention that you have a robust team that helps you, that there are many different medications approved and several in the pipeline. There's a lot of hope for MS. And then a word of caution, this isn't your counseling session. Many of us have extensive misdiagnosis stories, and this is not really the time to tell them about the heartbreak that went along with the diagnosis. Sexuality and intimacy is a part of the puzzle in who your best self is. So absolutely, it is very important for you to be able to talk to your clinicians about dating. Your MS providers are all about your best self, so let us help you get there. Many people are into different lifestyle choices, and as long as you're being safe and honest with your healthcare providers, there's not a problem that they can't help you. Of course, you don't want to catch a sexually transmitted infection or pass one of those on to someone else that you're dating. And then another note is that many drugs are teratogenic, so hazardous to fetuses, so you don't want to get someone pregnant or become pregnant. So there's another good reason to work with your doctors who, if they can't help you on a certain issue, they can refer you to a more specialized individual. I met Matthew on Tinder. I used recent pictures. I said explicitly what I was looking for, a long-term relationship, and that I was not down to hook up. When we first messaged, I asked him what he was passionate about, and he said community service, family, early retirement, and learning how to sing and play the piano at the same time. To this, I replied, "Marry me, just kidding," and then my number. He later told me that the upfrontness of all of that really threw him off, but I just giggled and said, "Haha, well, I asked you first." So a few days later, he texted me, and we actually met in person in the pier in Baltimore. And I asked him open-ended questions, and I leaned in, and he leaned in to match me. And there was a really incredible connection there that I hadn't really felt before. I've, at that point, had been online dating on and off for 2 or 3 years, but our rapport was different, and we both felt it. I think I told him on the second or third date that I had MS. I asked him what he knew, corrected misconceptions, and then encouraged him to do research and then come back and ask me more questions. Honestly, we really breezed over it. Of course, this is not a one and done conversation. Over the time, we've talked about disability, sensitivities, and how we can both support each other better. And we're engaged and expecting a baby November 7th. Yeah, so the main thing that I really want to stress is that you're not alone, right? Give yourself compassion, but also know yourself really well going into this. Research the right app for you. Involve your healthcare provider. Share your preferences with them. Share what you're struggling with. And then, of course, my number one rule is to frame rejection as a win. And get going. There's a whole world of dating out there for you.